We gather to celebrate the moments in our board, which celebrate your light and love and honor our mission as schools to educate as part of the mission and ministry of our church. Bless us with hope and trust in this first meeting of our school year, that our hearts and minds may be open to seeing and acting as faithful builders of your kingdom. We ask this in Jesus' name.
Amen.
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 Let us now attend to the scripture passage that reinforces our board goal of investing. Mr. Pitt.
A reading from the Gospel according to Luke, chapter 6, verses 46 to 49. Verse 46. Why do you call me, Lord, Lord, and do not do what I tell you? Verse 47. I will show you what someone is like who comes to me, hears my words, and acts on them. Verse 48. That one is like a person building a house, who dug deeply and laid the foundation on rock. When a flood arose, the river burst against the house, but could not shake it, because it had been built well built. Verse 49. But the one who hears and does not act is like a person who built a house on the ground without a foundation. When the river burst against it, immediately it fell, and great was the ruin of the house. The word of the Lord.
Thanks
be to
to
God.
God. As we ponder Jesus' challenge to build on a strong foundation, we acknowledge that our trustees, and in particular this evening, our student trustees, are part of building a strong foundation for Kenora Catholic. So at this time, we will invite our student trustees to stand and light their candles.
Oh dear. I was going to ask you to pause.
I've asked Mr.
Looks like Paul Andrews. Yeah. Shouldn't have brought it up, Marion.
Shouldn't have brought it up. I'm the only one that can burn down the board office.
Exactly.
My apologies. Thanks for your patience as you try to navigate a deeper candle.
I love it, Mariette, because it's perfect for pictures and I appreciate it so much.
Here we go.
Thank you for doing that. I didn't think I'd fit through this part here, so that's why I got Elizabeth to go in.
Hey, do you want to hold it?
Yeah. It's actually a little bit indicative of your work as trustees, isn't it? How you're trying to nurture the light and sometimes it just won't catch, you know?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. There we go. Oh!
Why not? Okay, I think it's working. There you go.
Perfect. Next year, we got to use water, candles.
There's always room for
You're not related now.
Okay. This is serious stuff, people. Stop laughing. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Elizabeth, Josh, Jawin, are you willing to be a joyful messenger of God, the Creator's compassion and forgiveness to your school and spiritual community?
Yes, I am.
Are you willing to continue to grow in faith and nurture your spiritual practices to celebrate the dignity in which you have been created?
Yes, I am.
Your part. I,
Elizabeth,
and Jawin,
Josh.
as a Catholic student trustee, declare my belief in the importance of the Catholic school as a community where faith and spirituality are lived and supported. I declare my commitment to bring leadership to my student colleagues and to strive daily to live the values and teachings of my faith and spiritual practices.
thank you. It's not just about them, it's about all of us in here and our promise and commitment. So I have a question for all of us gathered here. KCDSB trustees, director, and friends of the community, do you promise to support these student trustees and encourage them as they serve with you?
I do. We do.
That was a close one. Elizabeth, Josh, and Jawin, through this work, you share in the church's mission of Catholic education. May your gifts and voice bring light to others as you provide servant leadership in your school, families, and community.
Amen.
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 As we close our opening prayer, we ask the saints and holy people of our communities to invest in us and support us as we say, and your response is, pray for us. St. John Paul II,
Pray for us.
St. Marguerite Bourgeois,
Pray for us.
St. Louis,
Pray for us.
St. Thomas Aquinas,
Pray for us.
St. John,
Pray for us.
all holy people.
Pray for us.
And we close our prayer in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Good job, you two.
Thank you. Did leave them lit or turn them off?
A great big welcome to our student trustees. So now we'll move down to roll call. All trustees are present, and we have 3 student trustees as well. And we've done committee of the whole. So next is declarations of pecuniary interest. Are there any? Seeing none, we'll move on to number 5, consideration and approval of the agenda. And this is an amended agenda. We will be adding item 10.5.4, National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. May I have the recommendation, please, Trina?
That the agenda be approved as presented, or amended.
Amended.
Amended, moved by trustee Mike, second by trustee Vaughn. Any opposed? Seeing none, that carries. Number 6, we'll move on to confirmation of the minutes, which are on page 1. Have the recommendation, please, Trina?
That the minutes of the regular board meeting of the Kenora Catholic District School Board of June 21st, 2022 be approved as circulated.
Moved by Frank and seconded by Jeff. Any opposed? Seeing none, that carries. Okay, so we'll now move under to number 8, delegations and presentations. 8.1, 2022 summer learning programs, and welcome Jared and Bob. The floor is yours.
Did you want us to go first? Okay, we'll go first because I know they have to.
Oh, it's 2. It just had both your names together. So I'm sorry.
Well, there'll be one presentation, but 2 different perspectives. So. Okay, well, thanks for having us. I do have some people here. They're going to introduce themselves at a later time here. First of all, I think you need some context. At the end of last year, we had some funds that were designated for First Nation Métis Inuit students. We know we wanted to spend it, A, and B, more importantly, we wanted to spend it on things that the kids wanted to do. So with the help from Trina, we organized a thought exchange at the school, and that was about 25 to 30 students. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with the thought exchange, but basically we have a guiding question, and these kids go on their devices and then they start submitting their responses to this guided questions. And this program, which is wonderful, it kind of collates all the data. And at the end of about 20 to 30 minutes, and that's all it takes, it kind of synthesizes what the kids want. And for us, or for the students here at St. Thomas Aquinas, it was very clear what they wanted. They wanted A, a volleyball camp, believe it or not. B, an art camp. Or C, culinary camp. Now, this was our first go at it. We didn't think we could get it all organized, so we tried to go with it to the volleyball camp. Did you want to go to the next slide, Ricky, please? Wanted to go. So we, with the help of Grace, she did these wonderful advertisements, and we present this on our TVs. We promote it within the school, and then we sent emails to all the students with this information. And surprisingly, we only had 6 kids want to participate in the volleyball camp, and I'll revisit that later, but we had lots for the FNMI art camp. So what we did was the kids that didn't, we couldn't provide 6 students wasn't enough, in our opinion, to run a volleyball camp. So we just promoted our another camp and we let them go to that camp, okay? It wasn't necessarily with TA, but it was Megan and I coaching still, okay? So they did get that opportunity to do the camp. Now, the art camp, we had Shauna Grappentine, who I worked with in the Rainy River District School before, come up. She's a Métis artist, and she presented this work. And it was 3 days, and I think it could have been 5. And I think that's what we're going to shoot for next year, provided the funding is there. And the kids loved it. And the quality of the work, and I think you see some of it around the thing right now, was amazing.
Wow.
Was amazing. And there's some other work that I'm surprised they didn't bring. It was really with tinfoil and stuff, and I could not believe what they could do with just a simple piece of tinfoil. So it was really good stuff. I think I've spoken enough. The 2 kids that I brought here today were part of this class, and I want them to just tell you what their thoughts on it were and maybe what they know if they'd like to see it going from now on. So, ladies, introduce yourself. Go ahead.
Don't be shy.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Stand up. Yeah. You're the oldest, Audrey, so you can start.
I'm Audrey. I'm in grade 11 and I go to TA. And can I get my little script?
You can get your script up.
I'm gonna do that. Okay. I joined the art program at the beginning of summer because I wanted to try some new things. And me and my sister both did it, and it was actually really fun. It was just relaxing. It was chill. I don't know. Yeah.
We understand, Jill.
Yeah.
We're good, yeah.
My name is Jalen Dareward. I'm grade 9 at TA. I found the art camp so much fun. I didn't really like painting before because I thought it was kind of boring. But then it got fun once we got going with it.
Cool.
So would you like to see something like this go in the future?
I'll do it again.
Yeah,
Okay.
really? And it was only 3 days?
3 days, and then it wasn't that we didn't want to do it more. Unfortunately, our artist was already booked up, so we've already spoke for next year and we're planning, because this was the first year, and when you do these things, you don't know what it's going to be like, and I think this is going to grow, and I think we really would like to try the culinary next year, and having the time that we have now, we can actually find, it wasn't like there wasn't interest in the students for that, it was more that we couldn't find a qualified person to do that work with the students. So we're going to be making sure that we try that a little bit early and find the right person for that as well. So yeah, I think it was a great opportunity for the kids. I am going to revisit that sports camp again, whether it's volleyball or basketball. I don't really care. You know, where I'm a gym rat, as most of you know.
Yep.
So I'd really like to see that go as well. And I think just physical fitness is important for all students. So are there any questions?
Yeah. Trustees?
Yes.
Anne, trustee Anne.
Yeah, oh, hi, it's Bob.
Yeah.
Could you just give me just a small example of some way that the instructor would have directed the students? Like, obviously, the students that are representing the group here today really didn't have, well, maybe I shouldn't speak for them, but art experience or a knowledge of how to present the beautiful paintings that we see here around the room. So just an example of how the instructor would have led you.
Well, I did go and visit them I did go down there on a regular basis to check on them. I was doing other things as well. But I think probably it's best to ask these two. They would like to know how she did it, because I have what I saw, but they might be better off to speak. Is that okay?
Yeah, like this young lady said wasn't even really interested, so.
She kind of just took it step by step, like started simple, just like basics, and then, I don't know, she kept it really simple, but somehow it ended up looking
Amazing.
like that.
Wow. It's amazing. You have hidden talents.
You want to add to that, Jalen? No?
Jay?
Okay.
Jalen,
Jalen, yeah.
So I'm assuming then you found a creative side that perhaps you weren't aware of or hadn't expressed before, and it just slowly started to
develop.
So none of
Better
you,
than the trap line?
I don't think so.
I like that trap line.
none of you have done art
like this before?
Not really.
Yeah.
So 3 days?
Amazing.
Wow.
Oh, I bet you even too, you could do it.
3 months, you said?
Wow.
Very good.
I think that is it. That's
Yeah,
the
good.
presentation.
Good, awesome, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate you coming out tonight. Thank you very much for, taking your valuable time and sharing your experience with us.
No problem. Are the young ladies allowed to leave or are they?
Absolutely.
Oh, they have to stay till the very end.
I told them only 15, 20 minutes and the parents are gonna be.
No, you
So
guys.
I had a quick question.
Yeah, sure.
Did anybody sell any of their work?
It's funny you said that because that was a question that was offered and I personally just thought, I don't want to go down that path right now because it's just about the kids learning and
Yeah.
stuff and we don't want it to be something different
Yeah.
that we don't want it to go that route, in my opinion right now. So, but I don't know.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, girls. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
You're gonna leave the art here, Bob? It's really beautiful.
We're gonna leave it for a couple of days, but I promised the kids back
Oh,
because their parents want it back. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Jared.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Jared Relko. This year, I was the acting administrator for our summer learning program. An exciting part of the program this year, which I can feel in the room here, is the excitement and the buzz of being back to being together and being in person. So our students were a part of the summer learning program for 3 weeks for the mornings. We were at St. John Paul II School and SMB School. From 9 to 12 was the programming. Students started coming to our program anytime after 8:15 for play and breakfast and snacks. Based on our registration this year, we had 49 students either referred to the program by school teams or registered by families through online registrations. This led us to hiring and forming a pretty big team of 4 teachers, 3 education assistants, as well as 2 summer student support positions. The program registrations were for grades 1 to 5. Anyone who was recommended through school teams, which were the learning resource teachers or the principals, as well as classroom teachers, were students identified as those students who would benefit from extra support in literacy and numeracy. So every single day of our program, we had literacy lessons, daily reading groups, creative writing and storytelling, STEM activities, math activities. But aside from that, we had a lot of fun and different activities that the students really wanted to share with you. So that's what the rest of this will kind of focus on. First, we had Science North programming throughout the 3 weeks. So once a week, we had a scientist, they called themselves the Blue Coats, join into a classroom and they would participate in a coding lesson with the students using the platform Scratch, where they were designing their own video games. We also had scientists join in for open discussion. So students throughout the week brainstormed any question that they thought they would want to ask a scientist. The scientist would join in virtually and we would have an open discussion with them, as well as live scientist sessions where we visited a zoo and saw animals. There was a presentation on fire and ice where they did a bunch of experiments using the elements. Another exciting opportunity was brought to us through OYAP, through Kelly Sunmark. It was a connection with wooden maker craft kits. So every student was able to design a toy car. And on the very left there, you can see that one of the teachers built a ramp and the students were able to race their toy cars. And then on the right-hand side of the screen there, we had a pastry chef out of Thunder Bay send us cookies and decorations, and we joined into a Zoom meeting with this pastry chef to learn about going into the skilled trades and how cooking and pastry chefing was one of the skilled trades. And obviously the kids were very excited about the cookies, unsure of what their future paths will be based on the rest of it though. We had literacy-based thematic units. So the image up there is the French program. They developed their own grocery store to incorporate literacy and numeracy. We also had groups do creative writing. So I actually brought a copy of each of the storybooks that the different groups created and were able to take home to their families. I'll leave the copies here if anyone wants to take a look. The more readers that they get, I'm sure they would be very happy. So this was our primary group. They designed monsters using paint and straws and then created a profile of their monster. This was one of the junior groups. It was an activity inspired by the book Scribble Stones. They designed rocks and then wrote about their rock. And the other junior group was doing a space unit. And as a part of that, they turned themselves into constellations. So the students pieced together using a digital program to create their own constellation and did a write-up about it. We also had guests from the Lake of the Woods District Stewardship Association. On the picture there, there's a very large, I guess it would be a replica of a watershed. So the different activities there were students adding in either positive things or possible pollutants to the environment. And then it would rain and we would see how things travel through our watershed and connect to the bigger watershed and eventually make their way to the ocean. Other activities that happened throughout the 3 weeks were tie-dyeing. We had a community arts performance in the gym for all of the students. Campfires and quotes. It was a fan with some tissue paper and LED candles. Songs, games. I think the next one here is an example of one of the French songs that was learned. There's going to be some wind sound, sorry. At the end of the 3 weeks, every student got the flip side of this would have been a mini report of some of the highlights of the week, some recommendations for extra practice in literacy and numeracy throughout the summer. This was just kind of our summary blurb, and it also gave all of the families access to Raz Kids, which is an online reading program to use for the remainder of the summer. And just some more pictures of the fun that was had throughout the 3 weeks of the program.
Cool.
Very awesome.
Yeah. Questions for Jared? Anyone?
I think fine, we're great.
And
49.
Anne.
I have to have a little kid every morning.
Aw.
I had a clue they were doing it. Because I didn't see her right after, you know, so I didn't get a report of what was going on. She would go to a babysit. But, oh my goodness, I wish I had known what was going on again.
No, fantastic.
yeah, every group had a great time. From drop off, they were running through the front doors. Pickups, they were running out the doors to share what happened for the morning. So altogether, an amazing experience for both sides, all of the staff and all of the students.
What are the ages of the students?
It was students from grade 1 to finishing grade 5.
Oh, wow.
And was it like a half a day then?
Half day. So
Perfect.
they started arriving anytime after 8. We did breakfast, snacks in the gym, and at 9 o'clock we would move into our different groups and do the programming with the teachers.
Perfect.
Super, and you've made some great partnerships in the community.
Yeah. And good turnout,
Super
49
nice.
kids. That's really good.
Awesome.
Yeah, excellent.
Well, thank you very much for your presentation, Jared.
Okay, thank you.
All your work.
Yeah, good.
Oh my, I had no idea.
Haha, guess what's next? 8.3 student trustee reports.
Nope.
Nope, 8.2.
See, I'm so excited. Oh my God.
And I did, I'm thinking about to lose control.
I'm sorry, ladies. You've worked so hard for this. I almost blew it. 8.2 Kenora Catholic Custom App. Grace, Ricky, and Tarina, welcome and thank you.
Thank you so much for having us, and good evening from the team in the Directors Department. We have something that we are very excited to share with our trustees this evening. It is a labor of love, and it has been very near and dear to our hearts throughout the custom design process. And so what we are here to talk to you guys about this evening is a custom designed app for the Kenora Catholic District School Board. So we will be launching this tomorrow across the system to families and to students. But we wanted to make sure that our trustees were able to have a peek at it tonight before it goes live tomorrow. We believe that this app is going to be an incredible resource and a tool for our students, in addition to our families and to staff as well, in keeping connected with our schools, being able to engage with our school communities, and really just having a very strong sense of what's happening in our school communities. It's a wonderful tool. It's not going to take the place of all of the existing tools that we already use in our schools, like emails and voicemails and web calendars and text messages home. But it's just an additional tool, and everything works in symphony. So all of the tools are working together under one communications umbrella. And so, yeah, we're very excited to share this with you. We also believe that it could be a very good resource for our Board of Trustee members in your role being twinned with schools. You could subscribe to the school that you're twinned with and have up-to-date information on all of the activities happening in your schools. And so with that, I want to say a huge heartfelt thank you to the team that is behind the curtain. So we have Ricky Watson. She is our IT specialist. She has supported the process every step of the way. And of course, Grace Dunford, our community relations lead, who has put so many hours of her love into coordinating events with the schools. And so the relationship between Grace and our school communities is very strong in that she is dialoguing with them on a daily basis. And so with that, Grace is going to walk us through, give you guys a sneak peek of the app. We encourage you to download it. I'm going to hand out some pamphlets for you guys. Enjoy the show.
So yeah.
Let me go whip some up.
All right, so this is the app. Ta-da! So we're not going to go through everything in detail because we really encourage you to, as soon as you get out of this meeting, pull out your phone and download it and then have some fun just checking it all out and exploring all the different buttons that we have on there. But I just kind of wanted to show you the main points of the app and what we're really hoping parents get out of this experience. So this is what the app looks like. And I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here because when a parent first downloads the app, what happens is they are asked to select a school. So this is what will be one of the very first screens that they see. They click right here, and then are all the options for all our schools. So as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. If your kid goes to École Sainte Marguerite Bourgeois, then you would select École Sainte Marguerite Bourgeois. Same with St. John Paul, St. Louis, and then St. John's School. Now, St. Thomas Aquinas, we decided to customize it even further because we recognize that there are so many amazing things happening up at the high school that it would just be overwhelming for parents to have it all on one calendar. So what we did after many conversations with Kylie and Mark and Aaron, we decided this would be the best way to do it for parents and students so that it is kind of a little bit simpler moving forward. So
Can I ask a quick question right now?
Yeah.
So if a parent has a child in SMB and at TA, can they select two schools?
Oh yeah,
Select them all.
love that. Completely.
I'm currently
selectable
doing that right now.
and customizable. Grace is following
I
all
follow
the schools.
all the schools because I have to make sure everything looks good. But typically, a parent is not going to follow all the schools. So if a student is in grade 9 to 12 at TA, they would follow just this one right here that my mouse is on, St. Thomas Aquinas High School. If a student is in grades 7 and 8, they follow both that main St. Thomas Aquinas High School one as well as this one here, the St. Thomas Aquinas High School grades 7 and 8. And then we're really excited that we were able to separate the sports calendar. So if you are on any of the Saints sports teams, you follow the Saints athletics calendar. And so this way, a student who is in grade 10 and isn't on a sports team, but instead is in band or something, they don't have to follow the sports. They won't get that basketball practice is on as at 6:30 today. They'll just get the notifications from the main high school. So like you said, a parent can come in here if they have a kid at SMB as well as TA, they can follow both. Or say their child's in grade 6 at St. Louis, then as soon as they move up to TA, they can unfollow St. Louis and then switch and start following St. Thomas Aquinas High School. So once a parent selects the school that they want to follow, they'll be taken to the homepage, which is this. So this is what it looks like. We have fun little graphics up at the top here that you can click on and go to see the story behind those photos. And that's something that I curate and update as often as I can. Anytime really we get a new fun news story, then I try and add it in there. So the main reason, the whole idea behind this app is really all centered around this calendar. So when a parent clicks on here, and mine takes a while, I apologize, I follow all the schools, so it's a lot of information. But for most parents, it's not going to take this long to load, and because they'll just be following one school or one or two schools. So all of the information that is pushed to this calendar here is according to which school they follow. So if they just follow École Sainte Marguerite Bourgeois, they are only going to get events from École Sainte Marguerite Bourgeois. And the other thing, there we go. The other thing that I forgot to mention in the little schools is that they're automatically subscribed to Kenora Catholic District School Board, and that is not optional. It is automatic, and we are very selective about what we put in there. It is only things that apply to every single school, recognizing that St. John's School is up in Red Lake, so even something like the Early Years Arts Festival, while it applies to all the elementary schools here, it doesn't to St. John's School, so it doesn't go in the board calendar. It's things like PD days, Christmas vacation, stuff like that. Board meetings.
Yeah, you can board meetings.
So this is what the calendar looks like. It's tough to see, but when you download it, you'll be able to see right away. In the bottom right-hand corner right here is the logo of the school, and that tells you where that's coming from. So someone that's following St. Louis as well as the board, they would get this little St. Louis logo here, and then anything coming from the board. So you just scroll, can see all the events here, all of the things taking place.
Wow.
And then the really fun thing is that you can include so much information in each event. So I'm just going to choose this one here. This is the St. John Paul is doing the Indigo reading fundraiser. So as you can see, you can include a little graphic here, which is awesome, really visual. And then you can include links right in there. So if I click right here, this opens up the link to the St. John Paul fundraiser. So that way we can add links. Another great thing is we can do registration links as well. So the cheese making, there it is, Cheese Making 101 at St. Louis. So this was something that families had to register for. They could click on this link right here and register right in their phone.
Cool.
So it's really, really simple, easy to use, and there's so much we can pack in there for families. So really, this is a one-stop shop where they can have all of the information. And then the other thing that we're really happy with and excited to really use is the news section. And one of the things we're really excited about this one for is the Saints Athletics, because I was speaking with Megan Darward and she said that a lot of families don't really know anymore where to get a lot of the sports news since it's kind of stopped being shared and put in the newspaper, and so they don't really know where to get sports results. So we are going to be publishing our sports results using this now. So anyone following Saints Athletics will get the results in this news section here, and they can click on it and see. I'll show you the example that we have in here is golf. We have the golf results, pardon me.
We're going to be our own news engine right here at Kenora Catholic.
Perfect.
Not that we don't love our local news stations, we still love them.
Well, that's loading. The other thing to note is that this is completely customizable by our team of 3 right here. So as the needs change at the school board, for example, COVID-19 vaccine, we may not need to click that anymore. We may not need that on our app. So we can customize it based on what's happening in our school board.
So this is what all of our news stories look like, and you can click on there, and so there, for example, is the Saints golf results. So we're really excited to be able to use that and share that feature as well. it's great that it's in the palm of your hand. A parent doesn't have to click on a million links to get to a news story, right? On Facebook, we put it, but we don't, it's just anytime you add a click, less and less people are about to read it. So we are very, very, very excited. And then the last thing I wanted to show you was the trustee section. So go down here, click on trustees, and then that takes you right to the trustees section. So again, super simple for parents, one click away.
Awesome.
And the last thing I wanted to share was that I have been acting like this app has been live for the past, I would say, 4 months, just so when we launch tomorrow, we are completely ready. Everything is in there. We've kind of worked out a bit of the kinks. So we asked a parent as well as her child to test the app for us. And she actually loved it so much that she told her friends. So her friends started to download it as well. So this is Anne Friesen-Craker. We got a quote from her about what she loved about the app. And she went over the top with it, giving us information on what she really, really enjoyed about it and what she found really helpful. And then we have Kate Schmeliak here. So, she said the experience has been great so far, very easy to use. It'll benefit students by helping them know what and when things are happening in the school. And the calendar was her favorite part. And then her mom, Denise, was the parent that we asked to download it. And she loves it. I'm so excited. She works right behind me at the CEC, and I forget what it was, but she came over and she said, "Oh my gosh, I saw that in the app. I know exactly when picture day is. And I know when the family phone program is." She was super excited about it, and that's the reaction that we're looking for. So
Great.
Right, and also we want to hand it over to Ricky because she is our IT specialist in this. She is wrapping support around students and families and
Yeah, so I'll be here to support students and families who might be having issues with the app or might need a hand downloading it or working out any kinks that they have. I'm available, I'm here, and I'm ready to go.
Awesome.
Wow.
Great stuff.
Perfect. Wow. Who puts all the information in? Like
I do.
every single thing?
Yes. Yeah, so I have a really, I have to say a huge thank you to all of the principals and secretaries at all of the schools because they have been from day one really approachable and really willing to work with us to ensure that this is a tool that parents want to use. And when we first were looking into this, I read every single review of other school boards who had this app, and I only read the negative ones. I wanted to know, why don't people like this? What mistakes do we not want to make? And the number one thing was, it's great, we love the app, the schools don't use it. So we have been really cementing these relationships so that the secretaries and everyone knows that if an event changes, get in touch with Grace. Here's the school calendar, here's what's happening this week. And so that has been kind of building over the summer months, or June and then summer months, and now it's going really well. I'm really excited about it.
We just went through a round of consultations with all of our principals and secretaries, just again, showing them the features, showing them their calendars, making sure that those relationships are strong between schools and Grace and the board office.
Another great thing about the app is we have the ability to do push notifications.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's, a bus cancellation or
Last minute changes,
anything.
If choir practice is canceled because the buses are called home because of snow, something like that, then we can do a push notification that would then hit everyone at St. Louis that choir practice is canceled.
Perfect. Wow.
Wow.
Long overdue.
So it just seems like that's a lot
always
of,
a good thing. Huh?
it's a lot of work.
It's a big commitment from the director's department, but it is a labor of love. It is something that we believe that students and families will benefit from.
Mhm.
And so when it's that
Definitely.
important, we are willing to put our work and energy behind it.
Well,
Wow.
thank you.
No, perfect.
Yeah, that is so awesome.
Perfect. Jeez.
And it's great for students too. That's one of the things we're really excited about as well at the high school, is the fact that most kids at the high school have a device, and we're excited to have students have this on their phone too, so that they know when basketball practices, they know when band practices.
When the dance is.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be some daily announcements happening at St. Thomas Aquinas High School, and we're hoping that our student trustees can help be ambassadors in the school, share information, talk to your fellow students, and help to share the news about the app.
Please, yeah.
So
Great work.
We've always known it.
Next meeting.
We've always known it, but I'd like to say it. We've always known it, but I'd like to say it. We're blessed with amazing staff. You guys,
Yeah, this is number
you
one.
guys rock.
Thank
This is
you.
great.
Yeah,
I'm such an awesome team with our group here that we just love working.
Well, it looks like
together
it.
for the
Yeah.
school.
it looks like it, yeah. Results are here. No, we're not getting a raise.
Anne has a question.
We don't like them.
Did you say we would find the app?
It's in the App Store, so it's.
Oh, it will be in the
Yeah.
app.
Or you
It
can
already
ask
is.
or you can ask for some help.
It's under KCDSB, right?
Yeah, I know.
Just
Casey,
pardon me, Kenora Catholic District School Board, and it'll come up.
Okay.
Or Catholic DSP.
or Catholic DSB.
Yeah.
Perfect.
As soon as I typed Kenora,
Thank you.
this is the first thing that came
Ain't
up.
that bad, is that right?
That easy. Good job, you guys. So as soon as you type, you'll think there's much.
Thank you.
That's exciting. That's good news. Wow, you guys topped that.
Thanks, Uncle.
That's just good. I'm not gonna get a hug later.
Oh, dear.
I'm gonna get
I
that
never
there.
look at him when you're. Okay, so now to 8.3, student trustee reports. Elizabeth, Sean, and Josh. The floor is yours.
Good evening, Madam Chair, trustees, superintendents, and all welcome guests. Us students at St. Thomas Aquinas are excited to be back and are looking forward to all the exciting events that the 2022-2023 school year will bring. We started off as a community this year with our opening school mass. Father Rudy was gracious enough to come and officiate, and we are greatly appreciative of all the support that he has given and continues to give to our school's faith development. The senior as well as the intermediate bands have begun gathering and practicing with the goal of having a concert at Christmas. Students from grade 9 to 12 in the senior band have been given the opportunity to receive a credit for their participation. The school's choir for grade 7 to 12 is having their practices twice a week in the chapel, and we have a drama club that is going to have its first meeting this Friday. This year, it is also hopeful that we will have a drama production in the spring.
Thanks, Elizabeth. I'd like to give you an update right now on both the athletics and academics at TA. I touched base with Megan Dayward, and she was excited to fill me on everything that's happening on the athletic scene. To begin, she talked about the Norwassa golf team. This team is made up of 17 golfers, both females and males, and they attended their first event Tuesday, September 17th. The highlights of this is that they finished second overall, with Jackson Savage and Carter Peters tying for second in individual performances. They'll be attending their second event this upcoming Thursday. As for cross country, the first event is next Thursday in Fort Francis. This team includes members ranging from grades 7 to 12 for a total of 30 athletes. They are looking forward to competing. Turning to boys volleyball and girls basketball, tryouts are now complete for grades 9 to 12. The teams have been established and league plays to begin the first week of October. Girls and boys grades 7 and 8 volleyball starts the 27th of September. I also want to mention that in conversation with Megan, she spoke a lot about the grade 7 to 12 mountain biking team, with their first meet right around the corner in mid-October. They're getting all geared up and ready to compete. Turning now to our academics. I spoke to Ms. Valenta, who is the point person for our group for the academic update. She expressed how well the de-streaming is going this year. I know from speaking to my own sister, who has just started grade 9, she was so much less stressed about not having to choose a pathway and to know that the teachers will meet her where she is at in her learning.
The grade 11 First Nations, Métis, and Inuit Voices English course, the students have been learning about how smudging works and how how smudging works, and we're able to have Elder Terry Skeet come in and share his wisdom about the smudging process. There are upcoming cultural events like the annual fall harvest that is in mid-October. Back to you.
The start of every school year brings a lot of excitement and hope, and as Catholics, we are a community of hopeful believers, and we look forward to the wonderful things that we know our saints will accomplish this school year. We're thankful for all the teachers, administrators, and all other school staff who every day work their hardest to give their students the best high school experience that they can. And we're very glad to be back and in person and look forward to sharing with you all in the meetings to come. Thanks.
Oh my gosh, amazing. Excellent report. Trustee Frank would like to ask a question.
John, did I pronounce it right?
Yeah.
Is there a date for the fall harvest
I'm pretty sure it is the 15th.
of October?
Yeah.
Okay. And is it on campus or is it?
They would they usually do it at Rat Portage.
Okay,
Where the Powell grounds are.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's nice to see him in person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions? Trustee Jeff, Trustee Vaughn. I don't want to forget about you two there. Okay, great. Thanks so much. Now you got the first one under your belt. Okay, so number 10, policy governance. Blow your candles out. I just noticed when you turned the. Thanks. Scared the board office is getting burnt now.
Alarm goes off now. Watch those sprinklers.
We had an incident with Trustee Paul Landry once, that's why. I said,
Had a fire.
blow your candles out now. 10.1, approval of the minutes, the recommendation on page 13, please, Trina.
That the report of the Policy Governance Committee meeting of September 13, 2022 be approved as circulated.
Moved by Trustee Frank, second by Trustee Vaughn. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, that carries. Okay, we'll move down to 10.3 personnel, 10.3.1, the 2022 staffing report. Allison.
Thank you. Okay, so on page 19 in your board book, there's a summary of staffing. This just provides a summary of school by school, and this is hiring that started in the spring and into the new year, and there's still ongoing hiring. As you can see, there's a lot of positions, so just to give you a quick summary, there have been 37 new permanent hires in the course of the last roughly 6 months. They're not all brand new positions, as there have been some leaves and some retirements, but overall there's 37 new hires, which includes our new Director of Education. We've hired a new speech pathologist, a finance manager, vice principal. There's been 16 teaching positions, as well as 16 various support staff positions, such as education assistants, school secretaries, custodians, and maintenance staff, just to name a few. So our HR department has been very busy, but I'm happy to take any questions if you have anything about staffing.
Trustees?
No, that's good.
Good job.
Okay.
Okay, great.
The position that we're hiring.
10.3.2, the emergency appointments. Nicole, you're gonna do little.
Yes, if you could turn into your board books on page 21, the briefing paper. So this is an annual motion, which gives the ability to the Director of Education to appoint an unqualified person to teach in an emergency situation when no qualified teacher is available, which falls under Regulation 298 of the Education Act.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
perfect.
May I have the recommendation, please, Trina?
That the board authorize the Director of Education to invoke as required the Emergency Procedure Regulation 298-21 to appoint a person who is not a teacher or a temporary teacher if no qualified teacher is available for a period of 10 days with the option to renew this appointment.
Moved by Trustee Michael, seconded by Trustee Paul Landry. Any opposed? Seeing none, that carries. We will now move on down to 10.6 program, 10.
Nope. 10.54, Madam Chair, wasn't added, didn't we have an amendment?
Geez, I'm sorry, I forgot to write it on this page.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much, Mike. So I was wrong. We have it, this is the addition to the agenda, 10.5.4, National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. And Nicole?
Thank you. My proper
Oh, yeah, I
paper.
didn't know it.
The National Day for Truth and Reconciliation is coming up on September the 30th. So this day honors the children who never returned home and survivors of residential schools, as well as their families and their communities. At Kenora Catholic, our day will begin on September 30th with prayer and song led by our elder in residence, Terry Skeed, as well as moments of reflection and learning in our schools. If I can turn your attention to the screen. So in recognition of this day, we are unveiling a new Orange Shirt Day logo that was designed by a recent graduate of St. Thomas Aquinas High School, Katana Blackhawk. Katana is unable to be with us tonight as she is studying drawing and painting at OCAD University in Toronto, but sends her greetings to the board tonight. We want to formally thank Katana for partnering with us and creating a design from her heart and spirit for Kenora Catholic's new Orange Shirt Day logo. We are gifting all of our employees with a shirt designed by Katana to be worn on Friday, September 30th in honor of the continuous search for truth and reconciliation. We are also gifting all of our trustees an orange shirt with a design by Katana Blackhawk.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So as those are being handed out, just a bit of information. Katana is a member of Northwest Angle number 33 First Nation and shared with us that she drew her inspiration for the new logo not only from her spirit, but also the local memorial that sprung up in response to the discovery of the 215 unmarked graves on the grounds of the former residential schools in Kamloops, BC. We encourage you to take a moment to learn about the inspiration behind her design by visiting the KCDSB website. So we invite everyone to join us on Friday, September 30th at 10 o'clock via Facebook Live for prayer and song for the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. And we invite you also to reflect on this day by joining us and wearing an orange shirt. Thank you, Trustee Gallup.
Thank you very much, Nicole. Thank you for your shirts. That was a great idea to have one of our former students do the shirt up. That's great.
And nice shirt.
And Jeff and Vaughn, your shirts are over here, so you'll have to come. Okay. Sorry.
I'm going to Red Lake on Thursday, so we're bringing it.
Cool. Sorry, 10.6 program, 10.6.1 enrollment report. Allison?
Thank you so much. Okay, so on page 22 of your board book, you'll see a summary of the enrollment report. Keep in mind, this is still a fairly preliminary enrollment report as some of our numbers are still fluid as there's still student registrations coming in as well as there's still OSR requests coming in. Do you have page 22?
No, he doesn't.
That's okay, go ahead.
Okay, sorry.
I didn't think it would.
Sorry about that, everyone. Okay, so as you can see in the top part, the top section is the projected enrollment. And this projected enrollment is what we did our budget off of. It's also what we did our preliminary staffing. You'll see a summary of each school. So we had projected a total junior kindergarten for the whole Kenora Catholic system at a total of 73. Senior kindergarten total was 98. Grades 1 to 3, 223. Grades 4 to 6, 288. 7 to 8, 221. And grades 9 to 12, 388 for a total of 1,291 students. Below is the enrollment report as of September 15th. So this was a capture of that day specific. As you can see, we've seen some growth in our enrollment. We've increased in all areas with a slight reduction in the grades 1 to 3 category. We've also seen a significant increase for St. Thomas Aquinas High School, both in the elementary and the secondary. For projected, we projected a total of 577 students. And as of September 15th, it was up to 605. We've also seen increases in all of our schools with a slight decline for École Sainte Marguerite Bourgeois. They have lost some students in the grades 1 to 3 panel, but we have confirmed that majority of them have transferred to Kenora Catholic School in Kenora, and a few families have moved away. So that's where that decline is. So overall, our enrollment is 1,329 students, which is up 38 students from our projected enrollments in the spring.
Good.
Thank you for this report. Are
Thanks,
there, Paul?
St. Isidore,
Yes,
Yeah.
I noticed 0.
that's right.
Elementary.
Yeah, so what happens, is that still there or is it,
None of our families opted for virtual.
okay, so down the road there could be, or,
We've, as from directive of the Ministry of Education, we were only required to offer it for this current school year. So we're hoping that next school year, we don't need to provide it.
good.
Excellent.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll move on to 10.8, 10.5.1, trustee representatives on the Internal Audit Committee. Nicole, please.
So as we are planning for the transition between the existing Board of Trustees and the incoming Board of Trustees, and taking into consideration the obligations and duties of our statutory committees, we are putting forward a motion to appoint Teresa Gallick and Paul Landry to the Internal Audit Committee. They will join Trustee Frank Bastoni and Mike Favreau as trustee representatives. This will support the transition during the outgoing and incoming Board of Trustees that will take place on November 15th.
Thank you. May I have the recommendation, please? Trina?
That the Kenora Catholic District School Board appoint Paul Landry and Teresa Gallick as trustee representatives on the Internal Audit Committee, effective immediately.
Moved by trustee Frank, seconded by trustee Jeff. Any opposed? Seeing none, that carries. Okay, 10.5.2, Elections Compliance Audit Committee 2022 to 2026. Allison.
Okay, so just referencing page 23 of your board book, there's a document as well as the proposed agreement to be adopted as a motion this evening. So the Municipal Elections Act, it requires the municipal council and local school boards to appoint a compliance audit committee before October 1st of an election year. The committee shall not be comprised of fewer than 3 and not more than 7 members. The term of the office of the committee is the same as the term of the office of the council or local board. The committee will be in place for any by-elections that could occur during this term. The compliance audit can be requested by an elector who is entitled to vote in an election and believes on reasonable grounds that a candidate has contravened the act relating to election campaign finances. By filing a written application with the clerk or secretary of the board, the clerk or secretary will forward the application to the committee to provide a copy to the council or the board. Current situation in which we did 4 years ago during an election year is the senior business officials of Keewatin Patricia District School Board, Rainy River District School Board, the Northwest Catholic District School Board, and Kenora Catholic District School Board have developed a proposed agreement, which is in your board book, which each compliance audit committee will be composed of the senior business officials employed by the school boards. If there were a compliance audit come forward for any election towards Kenora Catholic, I would not participate in the member of that audit. It would be the other senior business officials who would conduct that audit. So to accept the communication plan is to present this to you here at the board and to accept the proposed agreement to establish the compliance audit committee with all the boards mentioned in there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any questions on this matter?
Nope, pretty straightforward.
Okay. So we'll go to the recommendation then, Trina.
That the Kenora Catholic District School Board approve the agreement to establish an elections compliance audit committee with the Rainy River District School Board, Keewatin Patricia District School Board, and the Northwest Catholic District School Board, and that the chair and director of education be authorized to execute the agreement on behalf of the board.
Moved by trustee Mike, seconded by trustee Paul. Any opposed? Seeing none, that carries. And the next recommendation, please, Trina.
That the Kenora Catholic District School Board appoint Richard Finley, Cubaton Patricia District School Board, Laura Mills, Northwest Catholic District School Board, Megan Cox, Rainy River District School Board, and Ellison Smith, Kenora Catholic District School Board, to the Elections Compliance Audit Committee to serve the Kenora Catholic District School Board for the term of office commencing November 15th, 2022 to November 14th, 2026.
Moved by trustee Frank, seconded by trustee Ann. Any opposed? Seeing none, that carries. Thank you. Okay, 10.5.3, the Special Education Advisory Committee report for June of 2022. Ann.
So this is a report of the Special Education Advisory Committee meeting held on June 17th. And as it is an election year, the school board and the SEAC committee will be seeking nominations for the committee. And several suggestions include emailing our First Nations organizations such as WinHack, and also reaching out to Harmony Center in Red Lake for an agency representative. And you know, also including all of our regular types of communication out to our parents and families, for example. And then I probably told you a little bit about this in former meetings, but this is, I wanted to bring you up to date on a letter that was sent to the Honorable Stephen Lecce, the Minister of Education, and it went out from the Hamilton Wentworth Catholic District School Board's Special Education Advisory Committee. And like I've kind of told you before, when a school board submits, especially from the SEAC committee, submits a recommendation or a request from the Ministry of Education, then that correspondence is usually sent out to all of the other SEACs in the province. And it's up to then the individual SEACs as to whether they want to support that request. So this is a letter that was signed by Teresa, who's the chair of our Board of Trustees, and Noreen Schramm, who is the chair of our SEAC. And it is dated May the 17th. And it reads, Dear Minister, on behalf of the Kenora Catholic District School Board and the KCDSB Special Education Advisory Committee, we stand in support of the Hamilton Wentworth Catholic District School Board's Special Education Advisory Committee letter concerning, and it's called Policy Program, Memorandum Number 81, which is the provision of health support services in school settings in 2021-2022. And that's probably what you've heard me talk about before, is the health support services. It doesn't really affect us at the present time. It could have, we understand at the beginning of last year, and it could at any time. So it's important to us too. So, Minister Lecce, I believe, did respond to Teresa, but you know, he did indicate that any consideration of memorandum number 18 would be put on hold until after the provincial election, which has occurred. So hopefully that recommendation that went out from our sister school board will be recognized. And then it's always important that we hear from our community partners who walk hand in hand with our schools, and one of those agencies is Firefly. So this is an update from them, dated June the 17th. They are still, first of all, occupational therapy services will be assessing clients over the summer to work through the wait list of clients. So I guess there's a very long list that that Firefly is holding on to. And there's something called the School Support Program. So Firefly's behavioral lead met with our behavioral lead to discuss how Firefly could support the board with professional development to support students with autism. I'm not quite sure where that is sitting currently, but at least the leads have gotten together and it's being discussed. And good news is that Fire 5 is fully staffed for mental health counselors, but they do continue to recruit for occupational therapy, PT, and speech language pathology. On June the 8th, our special education coordinator, Andrea Batters, did attend and co-chair the Regional Special Education Committee meeting. And something I thought was important that that came from that meeting is that the Ministry Special Education / Success for All updates was discussed, and what Andrea brought back to us was that key updates included early intervention for math initiatives, summer learning funding, and the steps in their right to read inquiry response, and the continued review, of course, of PPM 81, the provision of health supports in schools today. So government hasn't forgotten about it, but a lot of things still in the works. On June the 10th, there was a professional development day for our educational assistants. Some of the workshops and presentations included more rest and play in our lives and letting go of anxiety in the lifestyle, 6 golden rules of financial planning, and a wellness session, and then the range of breakout sessions that the education assistants could choose for themselves. So that is a report from you, and it's a long time.
Thank you so much, Anne. That was very good. Any
Chair?
Yes.
May I make just a comment under new business? I know there's nothing on the agenda, but.
When we get to it?
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Was there any questions for Anne on the? Good report, yeah, really good report.
Yeah.
Number 11, Committee of the Whole. May I have the recommendation, please, Trina?
That the board accept the report of the Committee of the Whole and all recommendations contained therein.
Moved by Trustee Vaughn, seconded by Trustee Michael. Any opposed? Seeing none, that carries. So we'll move to number 13.
There.
What did you say, Mike?
No, I'm waiting for him to see.
Oh, okay, new business, Frank.
Yeah, nothing urgent or out of the blue, but just I attended my my final meeting of the OCSTA Board of Directors on the weekend. I didn't attend in person, obviously, but I did participate via teleconference, and I just wanted to highlight one of the things that was discussed at the meeting, and that was, as you recall, the government had insisted on a number of courses being offered online, and I just wanted to highlight the work that's been done in terms of, you will recall that OCSTA had always insisted to the government that any courses offered to Catholic students would be taught by Catholic teachers in Catholic schools. And there was an excellent response from teachers in developing the courses that are now available. And you'll forgive me for not knowing the platform that it's on, but the courses apparently are amazing, and they're at the secondary level, of course. And so there was just an insistence that we ensure that all our guidance staff and all our schools are fully apprised of the courses that are available, so we can guide our students, if necessary, to those courses. So I just wanted to bring that forward.
Thank you for that update. So we'll move down to number 16, future meetings. So our next policy governance meeting is on October 4th, 2022. And then our last regular board meeting of this Board of Trustees is coming up on October 18th. With our inaugural board meeting being on the 15th of November. And then all the school council meetings, the SEAC meetings you've got one this Friday, and
Yeah.
yeah, okay. And trustee travel next Wednesday, we'll be traveling to Thunder Bay. So I just, for our regional meetings, be myself, trustee Paul, and our director Nicole going, and trustee Jeff as well. And trustee Vaughn as well from Red Lake. I'm sorry, I'm thinking, who's in the vehicle with me? Okay, and then there's some other ministry reporting data. And we will move down to the last item on the agenda, which is adjournment. And, oh, you got your hand up for
Yes,
adjournment?
sorry, Teresa, just as I'm looking at the school council meeting.
Oh, sorry, yes.
School council meetings. And there's something that has come to mind. St. John Paul II School Council conflicted with policy governance. And St. Louis Living Arts School Council meeting is tonight, so it conflicts with the board meeting, which is unfortunate because, you know, like we are twinned with schools. And it's always nice for the trustee to be present at the council meetings. So I'm just wondering if for the future there's some way of better coordinating with our schools.
Non-conflicting.
There isn't that conflict.
Non-conflicting days. We're always missing one.
We have a calendar on our new app.
Okay.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I think sometimes they run out of days, but
That's a good point, though.
we will bring that up with the principals.
Yes.
I
Our director will look into it.
Our director.
Our director will look into that.
I'm sorry. Okay, anything further before we get to the adjournment? Okay, with that, the recommendation, please, Trina.
That the meeting adjourn at 8:14 p.m.
Moved by trustee Jeff, seconded by trustee Paul Landry. The opposed, seeing none, that carries. Thank you and good night, everyone.
Good night, guys. Good night, Jeff.